The confusion that money is an object and not a unit of measure goes to the heart of the enigma of money. In its purest form, money is a method to quantify and facilitate value exchange, but by treating it as an object to be owned, instead of a unit of measure, we have constructed a system that distorts reality. In a functional reality, debt is impossible. You cannot accumulate less than nothing. I cannot carry around a basket with a negative number of apples. Yet through the manipulation and misappropriation of a citizen's time and energy, we are made to believe we must carry around debt. Indeed, it is law that we must accumulate debt to function in the economy of goods and services. All our money is created as debt, so it must be incurred for a citizen to exchange value in a system that is based on debt. Consider the scenario where apples are the monetary unit by which value is exchanged, yet I do not have the means to grow apples. I only have the opportunity to acquire apples by selling my labor, my time and energy. Securing the means by which I can turn my time and energy into money in this contrived monetary system requires that I either live within my means and save any extra apples I earn through my labor, or borrow to improve my earning power at a future date. I must bargain away my future time and energy through loans if I want a home, an education, a car, or funds to start a business. Paradoxically, if everyone facing this dilemma decided not to borrow, that behavior would destroy the economy. The point here is that to get the money I need to participate in the economy, an economy I am beholden to for my livelihood, I first have to go into debt to those who finance the economy. That entity controls the supply and terms by which value is monetized. In this situation, I fear and resent that power over me and the lack of self-autonomy that power engenders. This fear results from the debt I must incur to meet my needs based on my inability to meet my needs without accumulating debt. I resent that the debt puts me at a disadvantage as it relates to using my time and energy to meet my needs and find my proper place in the economy. This is not freedom, this is servitude. Perhaps this is why, from antiquity, we have been warned against borrowing, lending, and the evil of the love of money, as well as against the weapon of interest used to protect the evil process that the love of money inspires. They must have known of the fear and resentment that occurs when a few are allowed to manipulate resources and opportunities meant to be shared by all. Fear and resentment often become anger and violence. When citizens incur debt, they are essentially told they have negative money. Although this is an artificial imposition mandated by those with the power to control money, it nonetheless seemed real enough back when you could be thrown into debt or prison, or now, when the payback of debt with interest is the modern equivalent to feudalism. The time and energy you use to experience life are no longer yours until a future date when and if you can pay off the debt and interest you owe. And in our current debt-based, interest-accumulating monetary scheme, the debt can never be paid off. Even if you are the fortunate of the fortunate, with a skill set that enables you to accumulate surplus from your use of time and energy, the surplus you create is still established by and maintained as ever-increasing national debt. You owe your portion of that debt. So to hedge against the ever-increasing possibility of a default on that debt, your surplus must be used to maintain another's lack. Debt that can't be paid off can only be renegotiated, and war is the ultimate mechanism of debt renegotiation. War is murder. It is no coincidence that the wealthy rarely, if ever, fight in wars themselves. Instead, they pay others, who depend on the money they control, to kill or die for a system that demands allegiance from both. In modern times, this unnatural condition has led to the point of civic impotence. Not only must individual citizens carry debt at interest, but municipalities and nations must as well. To add insanity to this insult and injury, the only way to pay back that debt and interest is to print more money as debt with interest and then sell that debt back into society, which constrains and dilutes the society's ability to use time and energy to produce value. As a civilized society, how can we justify our value exchange through debt, repaid with interest, and still maintain that we have exchanged value or even acted civilized? This monetization scheme mirrors the predator-prey exchange, which is zero-sum and therefore unsustainable by definition and evil when used by humans on humans. Let me define the term predator as it relates to the context it is being used. A predator seeks to exploit or oppress another. The predator-prey debt-interest system is unsustainable and the epitome of waste. A system built on unsustainability will sooner or later lend itself to evil. Sustainability is the antidote to the evils of waste, and it is obvious that our current monetary system is unsustainable, as evidenced by the wars and overconsumption it promotes. Consider this. Evil doesn't exist apart from fear, and more importantly, evil is not the source of fear. Fear is the source of evil. In fear, we created debt, and now debt keeps us in fear. We serve the evil we have made. We are terrified that we owe a debt that can never be repaid to a system we can no longer control.